Good evening. Welcome to the January 19th edition of the Downers Grove Village Council meeting. Due to continuing COVID pandemic, we are operating mostly remote for the village meetings, including this one. In order to do our part to help minimize the potential for virus spread and to be mindful of social distancing, we have most of the team on conference call. Those participating by conference call include Greg Jose, Mayor Pro Tem, Commissioners Marge Earl, Nicole Wallace, Leslie Sadowski-Fugit, and Kavanaugh Gray. Commissioner Colavani continues to make progress in his fight against COVID. We just heard a little bit more of that tonight, and we continue to offer our prayers and best wishes to Rich and his family. Here in council chambers with me is David Fieldman, our village manager, Enza Petrarca, our village attorney, and Rosa Berardi, our village clerk, as well as Mike Baker, assistant village manager. Copies of tonight's agenda, as well as links to all the documentation we have here, can be found on our website at downers.us, where in the lower left-hand corner you can find a link titled Current Week's Meetings. During these challenging times, we continue to provide opportunities for public input via email and our village e-remarks system. Public comment will also be taken electronically through the course of the meeting. To submit a question or comment electronically, you can visit that same This Week's Meetings Village webpage and click on the green Submit Public Comment link anytime during our meeting. We will check periodically for new submissions. We have placed our typical public comments section at the end of the meeting to allow comments submitted electronically during the course of the meeting the best chance to be recognized. We'll do our best to get those comments into the record. As is sometimes the case during regular meetings, we may have to get back to folks with additional information at a later date. As always, we'll begin our meeting this evening with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Rosa, would you please call the roll?
Mayor Barnett.
Here.
Commissioner Jose.
Here.
Commissioner Earl.
Here.
Commissioner Wallace.
Here.
Commissioner Sadowski-Fugit.
Here.
Commissioner Colavani. Commissioner Gray.
Here.
Thank you all. Is there a motion to conduct this meeting electronically?
Mayor, I move that the council conduct the January 19th, 2021 Village Council meeting electronically.
Second.
Motion to conduct this meeting electronically is made by Commissioner Jose and seconded by Commissioner Earl. Any questions or comments? Greg?
No, Mayor, thank you.
Marge?
No, Mayor, thank you.
Kavanaugh?
No, Mayor, thank you.
Leslie?
No, Mayor, thank you.
Nicole?
No, Mayor, thank you.
Thank you all. Rosa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Jose.
Aye.
Commissioner Earl.
Aye.
Commissioner Gray.
Aye.
Commissioner Sadowski-Fugit.
Aye.
Commissioner Wallace.
Aye.
Mayor Barnett.
Aye. Item 3 on our agenda tonight, I have a proclamation this evening. Yesterday we celebrated the life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., whose work, though unfinished, we all benefit from today. Make no mistake, Dr. King's work is unfinished. The fight against racism was front and center for Dr. King, but his struggle went beyond racism. He fought against the war in Vietnam, he fought against poverty, he fought against unemployment. He fought for all people to earn a fair and dignified living regardless of race, occupation, or socioeconomic status. Last year, I tried to use the celebration of Martin Luther King Day as a jumpstart of sorts to a broader conversation that needs to be had. I wanted our community to be mindful and purposeful as we protect and defend the rights of all people regardless of race. I want our community to see Dr. King as an example. He fought for everyone who was marginalized: African Americans, Native Americans, the poor, everyone. In Dr. King's last speech delivered in Memphis the day before he was murdered, he focused on human rights. Dr. King understood that human rights, civil rights, and justice are legs of the same stool. When one is missing, whether in Pharaoh's Egypt or 2021 America, it's a problem we all need to face together. So with further celebration to Dr. King's work, I offer the following proclamation. Whereas discrimination based on history, gender, age, disability, race, religion, sexuality, or socioeconomic status is antithetical to the values of our nation, our state, and our village. And whereas the Village of Downers Grove believes in fairness and equality and values our diverse population of both businesses and residents, recognizing that such diversity is one of our community's greatest strengths. And whereas we recognize that in order to build upon this diversity and maximize the potential for benefit to our community, it is essential that equality of opportunity and the absence of discrimination be at the core of all the village's policies, procedures, and efforts. Whereas the village recognizes that individual liberty is one of the important founding principles of our nation and celebrates the diversity of faith, thought, and background that each individual contributes to the fabric of our American community. And whereas the village recognizes the crucial role government plays in ensuring an environment where discrimination is foreign to public policy and governance and individual liberty is free to flourish. Now therefore, I, Robert T. Barnett, Mayor of Downers Grove, do proclaim the week of January 17th through January 23rd as Civil Rights Week in the Village of Downers Grove, wherein the Village of Downers Grove affirms its commitment to holding up the individual as our greatest asset, encouraging tolerance and acceptance of differences among all residents and inclusion of all, recognizing that in those differences are the unique attributes which add to our community's strength, fabric, and vitality, and encouraging residents to reflect on their own personal commitment to ensuring civil rights remain at the front of their efforts as they live, work, and play in our community, and that as individuals we join together to raise each other up and celebrate and honor our individuality. Dated this 19th of January 2021, Downers Grove, Illinois. Item 4 on our agenda, minutes of previous council meetings. Is there a motion concerning previous minutes?
Mayor, I move that the council adopt the minutes as presented.
Second.
Questions or comments? Greg?
No, Mayor, thank you.
Marge?
No, Mayor, thank you.
Kavanaugh?
No, Mayor, thank you.
Leslie?
No, Mayor, thank you.
Nicole?
No, Mayor, thank you.
Rosa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Jose?
Aye.
Commissioner Earl?
Aye.
Commissioner Gray?
Aye.
Commissioner Sadowski Fugit?
Aye.
Commissioner Wallace?
Aye.
Mayor Barnett?
Aye. That motion passes. Item 5 on our agenda tonight is our consent agenda. Is there a motion concerning our consent agenda?
Mayor, I move that the council adopt the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion to approve the consent agenda is made by Commissioner Jose and seconded by Commissioner Earl. Questions or comments? Greg?
No, Mayor, thank you.
Marge?
No, Mayor, thank you.
Kavanaugh?
No, Mayor, thank you.
Leslie?
No, Mayor, thank you.
Nicole?
No, Mayor, thank you.
Thank you all. Rosa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Jose?
Aye.
Commissioner Earl?
Aye.
Commissioner Gray?
Aye.
Commissioner Sadowski Fugit?
Aye.
Commissioner Wallace?
Aye.
Mayor Barnett?
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Item 6 on our agenda is our active agenda. We do not have any active agenda items tonight, so we'll move on to our first reading, and with that, I'll pass it over to Dave.
Thank you, Mayor Barnett. There are 3 items on tonight's first reading agenda, all focusing on one topic, the village's new enterprise resource planning system, commonly referred to as our ERP. Here to provide background information on this item is our Deputy Village Manager, Mike Baker.
Thank you, Dave. Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. As Dave indicated, the 3 items on tonight's first reading agenda collectively involve selection of an enterprise resource planning, or ERP, system. Replacement of the ERP system is a Village Council priority action item. These 3 agenda items include contracts with 2 software vendors, Tyler Technologies and N. Harris Computer Corporation, and a consulting services contract with Barry Dunn, McNeil, and Parker LLC, the firm that will manage and oversee implementation of the new ERP system. An ERP system integrates key functions across an organization and serves the department's financial and operational processing needs. Every department will be impacted by the replacement of the ERP system, and most of the impact will be experienced by the finance and community development departments. The village's current ERP is Eden by Tyler Technologies, which has been in place since 2006. Eden has served the village well over the years and is drawing near the end of its useful life. The project to replace the ERP system began in 2019. In August of that year, the village engaged Barry Dunn to assist with vendor selection through a formal request for proposal process. The process was completed successfully with 8 responses and resulted in selection of 2 software vendors that best meet the village's requirements. The Munis software package by Tyler Technologies was selected to replace all current finance and human resource department as well as licensing functions. And the CityView software package by N. Harris Computer Corporation was selected to replace all current community development and permitting functions. Taken together, the installation of these new software systems will provide more robust and sophisticated tools that will allow the village to improve efficiency and customer interaction in a number of areas. The village will continue to engage the services of Barry Dunn to ensure the on-schedule implementation of these software packages. The project schedule calls for staggered implementation processes that will be completed by the end of December 2022. During this 2-year implementation timeframe, the total project cost is $2.7 million. This is below the budgeted amount for this project. I am joined this evening by several key project team members who are on the phone and available for questions. They include Assistant to the Village Manager, Megan Miles, Finance Director, Judy Butney, Community Development Director, Stan Popovich, and IT Director, Dave Kenny. We are also joined on the phone by David Ledbetter with Barry Dunn. I would like to acknowledge the work of these individuals, as well as many other staff members who have devoted time and effort to the selection and contract review processes. I'd like to specifically recognize Assistant Village Attorney Dawn Didier for her tremendous effort in getting us to this point. Mayor, this concludes my presentation, and the team and I are available to answer any questions that you or members of the council may have.
Thanks, Mike. We'll just go around the horn here and make sure we don't miss anybody. We can certainly come back. This is a discussion. As a first reading, it's intended to be discussionary in nature. Greg, did you have any questions or comments?
No questions, Mayor, but just a quick comment. I just want to say thank you to everybody who's been working on this. This is one of those pieces of village government that isn't all of that attractive or interesting, but it allows everything else to happen. Without this enterprise software, we would literally grind to a halt in many, many places. And it's been a project that is, as Mike said, has been a long time in the works. So I just want to say thank you to everybody who's worked on it. It really is a massive undertaking. And it's exciting to see it move forward. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Greg. Marge?
Yes, Mayor, I have a couple comments. First, thank you to everybody, because I know this has been such a huge project to undertake and to get rolling, and it still is going to take another 2 years to finish it and another $2.7 million to finish it. When you're looking at it against something like the Burlington Highlands Drainage Project, it's not quite there, but it's just $1 million or so shy of that project. So this is a huge project for the village to undertake, and I'm a little bit nervous because we're looking at 2 different ERP systems, and I understand why, but that makes me a little nervous because 2 systems and then a cloud provider and then while we have a consultant to help us put it all together, I'm a little nervous sometimes with the implementation and the updates and stuff. Everybody's not on the same schedule. And also with the 2-year time frame, I'm a little bit worried about consultant turnover. So those are my biggest fears with this. I know we need to do it. I'm happy we're doing it. I'm glad we're moving forward with it. I'm glad so far it's under budget. I just worry about those little hidden items, and that's my comments, Mayor. So thank you. I do support this, though. Thank you.
Thank you, Marge. Any project like this has definitely got a lot of those question marks. It's when Mike mentions that it touches on everybody in our organization, every department in our organization, and takes several years. It's Marge, you're exactly right. There's a lot to be concerned about. Hopefully, we can take some solid steps forward. Kavanaugh?
Thank you, Mayor. I just had a quick question regarding, I wasn't here, wasn't around, or not familiar with the previous system. Thanks to everyone that is involved. We understand that these system changeovers can be massive. The question I had was whether or not there were aspects of the old system that, or areas that were not touched by the system, and are all pertinent areas covered in this system, or are there areas where there are gaps that this current system or this new system will not touch or cover?
I think I'd like to ask one of the team members to respond to that question. Judy or Dave, Kenny, are you, can you provide a response to Commissioner Gray's question?
Well, this system, the new system covers everything that the old system that does and has some extra functionality. And Dave, Kenny, if there's anything you want to add to that?
No, I concur with Judy. It does cover everything we currently do, let alone does add additional functionality that will help us serve our internal and, more importantly, our external customers.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. I was thinking more of were there departments that weren't covered in the previous system. I think I heard someone mention economic development or something to that effect, or were there other departments that weren't covered previously that this now encompasses as well?
No, Commissioner Gray, there are no additional departments that are served. It serves the needs of all of the departments within the village, just as the current system does.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Anything else, Kavanaugh?
No, that's it. That's it, Mayor. Thank you.
Leslie?
I have no questions, just, thrilled that we're finally kind of getting a handle on this. Obviously, with this big and long of a project, there are always going to be question marks and concerns, but I don't have too much doubt that we'll be kept up to date along the way and kind of be able to change on the fly as need be. So just excited to see this finally come across our desk. Thanks.
Thank you. Nicole?
Just to echo another thank you to everyone working on this project, because this is absolutely vital in order for us to continue functioning. So very important. Thank you to everyone involved. Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you. I'll just add that for those watching at home or watching at a later date, if you're not familiar with what an ERP system is, I'll let you spend time Googling it. But as was mentioned by several of my colleagues, this is critical to what we do. At the end of the day, your village government is a service delivery organization, and this allows us to do that. It simply is what allows us to deliver those services in a predictable way, in a repeatable fashion, and build the records that we need to continue, and the records we need to look back, and the planning we need to look forward. Every aspect of what we do is woven into the successful operation of an ERP system. So it is super critical. It is not the most fun thing to talk about, and I'm sure all 7 of us could come up with more entertaining things to spend that kind of money on, but this is going to allow us to keep doing the work we do. So thank you all for the work on it over the last couple of years getting ready. Anything else, Dave?
That concludes our first reading tonight, Mayor. Thank you.
Is there a manager report?
Yes, Mayor. It is with great sorrow that we mourn the passing of our dear friend and colleague, our former Public Works Director, Nan Newland. Nan passed away on Friday after a long illness. Although she'd been retired from the village for less than a year, she remained close in our hearts and our thoughts, and we extend our deepest sympathies to her family, friends, and her village teammates. Nan was our Public Works Director from 2009 to February of 2020, and she will forever be remembered by the many people she inspired as a true champion of innovation and collaboration. And for me, I will remember Nan as a great friend. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Dave. Item 9 on our agenda tonight is a public comments portion of our meeting. Enza, has anything come in online?
No, Mayor. No additional comments.
No additional comments, okay. We had one comment questioning tax and location of a property and whether it was in or out of the village, and we'll get back to that person and let them know. Mayor and council member reports is item 10 on our agenda tonight. This is an opportunity for council members to help community understand various things that are going on in their world or other groups that they interact with or events that are coming up, things that are on their mind. So let's go in reverse order again tonight. Nicole, anything on your mind?
No report tonight, Mayor. Thank you.
Leslie?
No report, Mayor. Thank you.
Kavanaugh?
Thank you, Mayor. Tonight I asked if I could read an email that came through from one of our residents. We have been, over the last couple of weeks, processing issues of country, of race, having hard conversations, and even this week, as we celebrated the life of Dr. King, I asked if I could read one of the residents' email, and she agreed. She says, "Hello, Downers Grove leadership. A hearty thank you for all of your public service. You have my gratitude and support for all you've done to make us a safe and functional community during this pandemic. Our family has been doing some hard work as we process issues of race in our country and in our community. As MLK Day approaches, I'm wondering about the history of Downers Grove. Was it a sundown town like Naperville was? Did it implement exclusionary practices like redlining? I also wonder why I don't have many black neighbors. I found a report that addresses these issues created by Evanston on their website. It brought me to tears, especially the part about MLK speaking at an Evanston synagogue and having to spend the night in the basement because no hotels would allow him as a guest. You can see the report posted on the city's website, Evanston redlining. The report was commissioned by the mayor's office. I'm wondering if our predecessors in Downers Grove would have treated MLK any different than Evanston did. Author James Baldwin, a contemporary friend of MLK, writes, "History is not the past, it's the present. We carry our history with us. We are our history. I believe that we should be exploring our history together in hopes that we can understand ourselves better and create a more inclusive future for our town. Is there such a conversation at the municipal level in Downers Grove to consider our history regarding race relations? P.S. The fact that there are abolitionists buried in downtown Downers Grove definitely is a part of our history to be proud of." I don't need to add anything else to Louise Kelly's email. I think she kind of, what I got from that was just someone who had a heart for understanding and just appreciate the conversation that she was willing to have. I also wanted to just say briefly, we got a picture from Commissioner Cullivaney this week by Marge. And again, I say the same thing I say all the time. Commissioner Cullivaney, day by day get better. And I also want to express my condolences to the family on the passing of Nan Newland. Thank you.
Thank you, Kavanaugh. Greg?
No report, Mayor. Thank you.
Marge?
Yes, I have a quick report, Mayor. It's been a real sad week for Downers Grove and the Pierce Downer Heritage Alliance folks especially. We lost 3 champions this week, all of them fantastic women. Mayor Betty Cheever, former Mayor Betty Cheever, Jane Amorosi, and Nan Newland. All of them were instrumental in in helping along the conservation of trees and promoting Lyman Woods and keeping that as a safe haven for generations to come. They will all be sorely missed because all these women stood head and shoulders above the others, especially at a time for many of them when there were not many women active politically or in government, and they really need to be recognized. So our hearts go out to the families and thank them for so many years of service, and we're sad to see them go. So that is all, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Marge. Appreciate those words. I do not have a report tonight, but we are also not going to adjourn. Is there a motion concerning adjournment to executive session?
Mayor, I move to convene into closed session pursuant to Section 2C1 of the Illinois Open Meetings Act to consider the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the village.
Second.
Rosa, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Jose?
Aye.
Commissioner Earl?
Aye.
Commissioner Gray?
Aye.
Commissioner Sadowski-Fugit?
Aye.
Commissioner Wallace?
Aye.
Mayor Barnett?
Aye. We will convene to executive session. Thank you all. Good night.